I was watching The View today and they were discussing how people don't talk about their salaries in the workplace with their coworkers and friends, family, stuff like that. And it reminded me of some things in my life, but also things that I thought were really interesting topic-wise. So I wanted to do a video about that. So let's talk. So this topic reminded me of a specific time I went home. I think I had just finished college and I was living up in Minneapolis, and I went to visit my mom back in Wisconsin, where I was from. And I remember us getting dinner together, and we were sitting talking, and the topic of salary came up. And I asked her what she was making, and she got so mad at me for just asking. And then I remember in the moment of her like yelling at me on this tirade of why you don't ask people what they make, I like flipped, and I was like, you know what? If you can't even talk to me, your son, about what you make and what I should expect in the workplace is like entrance salaries and stuff like that. I was like, you're giving me nothing. Why do I come home and visit? If you can't be open and honest with me, why do I waste my time? This is fake. And I remember having that discussion, and I think it was one of the first times I remember her stopping in her tracks and being like, oh, okay, adult topics with my son. But it was really interesting. And then it's always a topic I've thought of, like, why don't people talk more about what you make? And so from that moment, I decided that I wanted to tell people that were at my position level in a workplace about what I make and talk to them about what they make and expectations and stuff like that. And I started to notice that it's really hard to get people to talk about because we're raised in a culture that is designed to keep people segregated and ignorant about what they should expect and what they should fight for, because it leaves all the power to the business and the boss, right? Like, if you think about it, if we were all telling each other what we should be expecting entry level, then it would take the power away from them creating a classist system in our society. It would really take the power back to the people, and I think that would be so unique and cool because we would really create an environment where we're all getting paid equally for the same amount of work. And I know it sounds crazy because it's something we've never done, but truly it does seem like the most equality, justice-filled plan for everybody. I mean, around the world, like globally, I cannot believe there hasn't been a coalition of people or like this movement to take place where transparency amongst wages and earnings and stuff like that is mandatory. I think that would be really cool if the people would unite to realize that just by sharing what you're expected to be paid for this much time that you're giving, because that's all you're being paid for, your time. Your time is money, and you're giving up that time in your life to be at your 9-to-5 job, right? So you're trading your time for a paycheck, and if you think about it, like, this is why the whole fight for minimum wage to be at 15 across the nation is so important. And last year, I've gotten so many arguments on social media about how it's important we all stand behind the fast food worker industry movement. They really started or ignited around the country with walkouts and petitions being signed and stuff like that to draw attention to the fact that they were being underpaid. And it was, slave labor. I mean, nobody can feed themselves on $8 an hour in this country anymore in this day and age, let alone raise a family. And that's what people are being expected to do, and it's not okay. And then most of the people who would argue would be like, well, how are we going to pay our EMTs the same we pay people to flip burgers at McDonald's? And I was like, you have to be kidding me. Like, first of all, to keep someone at an unlivable wage because you don't think it should be compared to somebody saving lives because that person doesn't deserve to like have a nice lifestyle if the EMT can't. But that's the part you're not connecting, is if we would raise fast food minimum wage across the board, or minimum wage everywhere across the board, it would put pressure on companies and businesses to raise all wages. So obviously for jobs such as EMTs and nurses and doctors and teachers, like all of these positions would all start to increase. And it's proven that it would do that because it would start putting money back into the middle class. And we all know that middle class is what builds the economy in any sort of empire. under any government. I mean, look it up. It's the middle class that's the people that spend the money and put it back into the economy. The super rich and the elite, they're putting their money into stocks and storing it overseas in bank accounts and shit like that. It's not being infused back into our system. We're middle class. We put it right back in. So everything would grow. And this is such a good thing to be happening. And it's crazy when you see other middle class or poor people fighting against it. Because it's like, I feel like those are the people that are duped into believing trickle down economics is real. Like, that was some damn greedy bastard. Like, being like, yeah, tell them that we'll spend more money on that. Like, how long does it take for it to set in that that is a lie? But then, on the other hand, I have had many jobs ranging from office environment jobs to retail jobs to food industry. And amongst those, you run into different people. Usually, I'm finding people my age or younger are more willing to talk about their wage. It's something that I think we're embracing more and realizing. It empowers each other to be more vocal about what we're supposed to expect for our time. Because honestly, if I find out I'm making more than a coworker, I'm not thinking, oh, cool for me. I'm thinking this company that I work for is shady. Like, that's the first thing I think of. And when I find out somebody's making more than me for the same job that I'm doing, I'm irritated that my superior, or my boss, looks down on me and thinks that I'm worth less than my coworker, because then I feel like they don't believe in me, and why am I wasting my time at this company? And I feel like for the people that feel like I do to just be brushed off is such a message that corporate America wants to send, and I heard it loud and clear, so I wanted to pull myself away from that work environment because I think it's really stressful, and I think it leads to a lot more illness and disease than we're aware. And I think we're going to find out in however many years, when we look back at what human society was at the turn of the century when the millennium started. I think we're going to be judged hard. I think we had all of this knowledge, all of this information right in front of us, the ability to share information at a moment's notice, to be able to talk about wage and to be able to talk about sexism and ageism and classism. And these conversations aren't happening. They should be happening every day amongst the people. When we realize that mainstream media is a lie and it's paintbrushing over facts, like, we need to take a stand, and that's what the internet allows us right now. But if we continue to be so ignorant and oblivious, we're going to lose the internet, and net neutrality is going to be completely up in smoke. And these are things that we don't take time to think about because we're caught up in our daily. But it's like, that's the smoke screen. So start figuring out, mentally how the fuck to deal, because that's really all this stuff is. It's a control system, and we've talked about that before. And that's what these wages are. It's a control system. Keep people at separate wages, especially women. Women are shit on. And I saw a graph that showed that it's not until 2050 that it's projected for women's pay equality to match. Why? Why is it going to take us damn near 32 years to figure out how to pay women the same? It's a click of a button on a computer. Like, I just don't understand the explanation behind that, and why it takes so long for society to catch up, and why do we have to wait for the small-minded and the narrow-minded and the bigoted and the ignorant to catch up? Like, why can't we surpass them? That's what Darwinianism is about. Like, leave them in the dust. If these bigoted men with these short-sighted views, because they were raised in the South in the 60s when, black people and women and homosexuals were all segregated away from them, and it was this utopian environment for the straight white male. Like, why are we all still allowing that to be the dominant successor in the workplace? Why aren't we fighting back harder? And these are just all questions I have. I mean, I'm whatever. I'm just me. But I would love it if people would contribute to this discussion. I remember when I worked at retail jobs, I would often talk to my coworkers. One girl in particular, when I would tell her my wage, and she was like, "You make $3 more than me, and you do the same job." And I was like, "Damn, girl, you are getting paid like you work overseas at a sewing machine." Like, it baffles me how much people get used because they're unwilling to ask. And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. When you're in your interview, don't be scared to ask for more money. Whenever you're offered something, that's the starting off point. And I understand if you're working retail, fast food, or a coffee shop, whatever, or you're a busboy or a waiter, I get that in your mind it's ingrained that you don't deserve more. There's a specific limit you're supposed to ask for. Let me tell you, from my reality, I have surpassed those limits set at almost every job I've ever had. I've always asked for more. Now, you don't always get a lot more, but they are willing to work with you if they see potential in you, if they see you as somebody they should put an investment into. They will give it to you, I promise you. And I get how easy it is to doubt yourself and your worth when you're working at jobs like that, like retail. I had so many retail jobs from Gap and H&M and American Eagle. Like, I get that you're just one of many, and the turnover rate's insane. And you just watch your best friends, get used and leave. And I understand that you are worth more, and the more you talk to your coworkers, you will get it. It's really important that you talk. Like, that's where it starts, because they'll listen, and then you'll catch your manager's ear, and then they'll have to take it to corporate, and it will go somewhere. And I understand it's scary, and I understand losing a job is scary, especially when we're living in the times we do, and a paycheck is the difference between eating and not. And I get it. These are all fears that everybody in this country is dealing with, even if you're comfortable, even if you think you're comfortable, because it could leave at a moment's notice, and we live in that fear culture. So the more we discuss, the more we talk, the more we get it out there, I just feel like it'll help our sanity. It'll help clarity, and I think we'll be able to get to better places in the workplace, and have equality amongst pay and work environments and everything. It includes so much more than just money. So many groups of people don't have a voice, but that's what talking and communicating gets us, a bigger voice. So let's continue to do it. Leave comments below on anything you caught from this video and you want to add to, or anything I may have missed and you thought of. I love reading through them. Some of my videos get the best comments, and I appreciate them. But other than that, take care of yourselves for the rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.